All right, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, if you're going to be tuning in for the first time, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below if you're looking to join an awesome community of like-minded individuals. We also have a Discord group chat that's down in the description box. There's a little over 60 of us in there now. Love to see that community growing. We were having a good little conversation going on earlier this morning just about markets and starting early on in life and everything like that. So like I said, there's a bunch of awesome people in there if you're looking to join. Just an awesome network of a bunch of like-minded people. But other than that, we'll go ahead and get right to it. I'm going to make sure really quickly that our stream is up and going. Looks like we have one of you in here already, and it looks like we are doing all right on the stream. So if we do have any issues or anything at any point, definitely just let me know. But yeah, we'll kind of just hop right in. We got about an hour and a half or so until the futures market opens. Going to be really interested to see what happens with oil. I have a couple of alerts set. These are actually older alerts, if I remember right. But I wanted to pull up the VWAP. I pulled the VWAP up on this, I believe, either yesterday or this morning when I was doing a little bit of analysis. I wanted to pull up the VWAP because I wanted to see on the one-day chart kind of how it was moving overall on Friday. And what I liked is every time we got below that bottom VWAP, this gold line that you see right here, yellowish gold color, every time we got below that, we bounced right back above it. We tested it 3 times, actually about 4 times if you want to include this little time. No, I would just say 3. We pretty much tested it 3 times overall in the afternoon session, and we came back above it pretty much every single time after the sell-off. And we're kind of just stuck right in between right now. The middle VWAP is right around like 56.50 to 56.60, and the bottom is right around that 55.25, 55.35 area. So it's going to be super interesting overnight to see kind of where we go from there. Are we going to retest that bottom VWAP again before going higher, or are we just going to kind of go back up and leg up over $56? I'm in the majority that think oil for sure is going to bounce back tomorrow. I think we're going to for sure go over like $60. There's a lot of resistance right around 56. We tried testing it pretty much the whole rest of the day Friday after the sell-off, but we kept getting rejected right around 56 to 55.90. That area kept getting rejected, but it also kept building a support right around 55.70 to 55.75, pretty much right where we ended the day on Friday. So like I said, I mean, it's going to be super interesting to see how this thing opens up. Obviously, we don't really tend to see huge swings one direction or the other on Sunday nights or anything like that. We won't really get a good look at it until like 5, 6 in the morning Central Standards, like 6, 7 a.m. Eastern time in the U.S. That's when we really get a good direction on where oil's going. So I'll be setting my alarm pretty early tomorrow because I'm going to be interested to see where this is at. But I think right off the bat, we are going to kind of get a general feel for what direction it's going to go. We're probably not going to see it take a huge leg up or anything to retest that middle VWAP, I don't believe. Not until tomorrow at least. But overnight, I wouldn't be surprised to see us either retest $56 or try to retest that bottom VWAP. I'm in the boat that I don't think we're going to go back below the 55.50. But there's some bears out there that think we're going under 55 down back. There's some that are calling for $50 again. I don't see that happening, but there are those bears out there that think everything's bearish whenever we have a sell-off. Or not even a sell-off, but a pullback within anything. Oil, SPY, all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting overall. But when we look at our 1 hour chart, I love it. Oversold every time this thing. Don't pay attention to the VWAP lines right now. How's it going there, Josh? I'll go ahead and just take it off. I was just looking at it for that 1 day, 1 minute. I don't really use VWAP I don't hardly use VWAP quite at all, in all honesty. But when I do, it only applies really to like my 1 day, 1 minute. But yeah, onto the 1 hour chart. Love how the 1 hour chart is looking. Every time this thing pretty much gets oversold on the 1 hour chart, we get a good bounce back, usually a 1% at the minimum bounce back day. Like I said, we built a good overall support right around that 55.70 to 55.75 mark. So I think it's priming up essentially to take, like I said, a leg up to at the minimum 56 to 56.50, where that middle VWAP line was that we just looked at on the 1 day, 1 minute. I think tomorrow we're probably going to test 56.50, but we'll see what happens. I mean, from the close of 55.75 that would be, I believe, if I remember right, roughly a 1% move to the upside if we tested 56.50. A little over a percent, 1% to a percent and a half. So we'd make up a little over half of what we lost on Friday, which makes sense for a bounce back day. What I keep pointing out over and over is every time oil has these little sell-offs, the lows keep getting higher and the highs keep getting higher. Even though it's just barely, we're just barely squeezing out new highs, our lows keep getting higher. But what I noticed some people were pointing out is that could also mean we're kind of in a wedge right now. So I think this week's going to be a pretty crucial week for oil. I still think overall it's got a bunch of room to the upside. I'll keep on going on record saying that I think it's going to 60 plus, maybe even 70 plus, but for sure $60 to $70 over this spring and summer. It's still only March. I mean, we got a long way to go on this oil market game. I mean, it could by all means surpass $70 to $80. I just think from an overall bull standpoint, 75 is probably the max you're looking at this year, but we'll see what happens. It could also be getting ready to roll over. A lot of people, for some reason, keep looking at the 1 week chart, which I don't really look at weekly charts personally, but some people are saying it's looking pretty bearish. I don't believe it. I'm looking more. I always trade oil. You guys know I use the 1 hour chart more than anything. Not even just for oil. I use the 1 hour chart for SPY whenever I would like swing trade SPY like options and stuff. Even though I don't suggest like swing trading SPY options, but I use the 1 hour chart a lot, and for oil it continues to work. We're in massive oversold condition right now, so I mean, you know pretty much at the minimum Monday, Tuesday, one of the next couple days we're gonna get a good bounce back to at least $56 to $57 at the minimum. So overall though, I do think whenever this little rebound starts to occur, like I said, 56.50, we're going to have quite a bit of resistance there. Our middle VWAP also showed about 56.50. This SMA, don't be surprised if it pulls down a little bit to around the 56.50. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of resistance at 56.50 if or when we finally come back up. Like I said, I think that's going to be tomorrow, but 56.50, that's going to be the first area of resistance. And then as we come back up, we're probably talking somewhere around 57, or was like 57 teens is what we were kind of holding. So right around 57.15 will be that next area of crucial resistance. And then if we can break above that, then we're probably going to retest early, what was it, Friday? We hit the high, right? Yeah, early Friday morning's high. We'll retest that probably within the next few days. How's it going there, Peter? And yeah, as for my positions, I'm all in on UWT right now. You can see overall was a pretty messy day for Friday. Had a good little bounce back after hours because it shows UWT at 14.95. I believe UWT is actually at like 14.90. Robinhood's after hours numbers aren't ever really too accurate, but it's showing 14.90. I can see where Robinhood got 14.95. So it's between 14.90 and 14.95 either way. But yeah, overall Friday was kind of messy because of my UWT, but I'm like pretty much all in right now on UWT. I mean, all in. I mean, a lot, quite a bit. Yeah, 99%. And that's stupid. And honestly, I wouldn't suggest doing that for most people, but you guys know I'm super bullish on oil, so I mean, if worse comes to worse, I'll have to cut a small loss on that, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, for the last month overall, we're still up 8% if this trade goes completely against me, which again, I don't think it's going to. I think at the minimum, we're going to get a bounce back to around 56.50 tomorrow on oil, which for UWT, I believe, would mean roughly, let's read, I don't want to speak out of context. Let's see, 56.50, so that'd be about right there, that first resistance. So for UWT, that would be roughly 1545 to 1550 area, which my average buy cost happens to be what, like 1547, I believe. So I mean, literally at the minimum, I'm probably going to at least break even on my average cost on position. I don't plan on doing that by any means. Like I said, I think that's just being conservative of how much I think this is going to bounce back tomorrow. I think overall oil is going to fill the gap. which for UWT, I mean, we're probably going to test somewhere around like 1575 to 1580. So, I mean, if it comes back up to that, I might consider selling. It just depends how bullish oil looks overall tomorrow or Tuesday, whatever day we start getting a little rally going again. But from where it's currently at, if we go by Robinhood's price of $14.95, that would be roughly a 5%, 5 to 5.5% move to the upside. So, I mean, that's a good little move. Like I said, I'm betting more on around 1550 tomorrow for the movement. That's still about a 3 to 4% move to the upside. For UWT specifically, for oil, that's about a 1 to 1.5% move to the upside. Again, still a pretty volatile move to the upside for oil. So we'll just kind of have to see how that plays out tomorrow. Should have held on to DWT. No, you're good on getting rid of DWT because I think DWT is going back down tomorrow. So, I mean, if anything, it's a good thing you covered those profits because oil's not going to keep going down this week. Like we were talking about, I don't know if you were in the stream yet, a couple minutes ago, we were talking about on our 10-day chart or 20-day chart, every time we have these little sell-offs, the support keeps getting higher, like the lows keep getting higher, the highs keep getting higher. Even though this last couple of days, the highs were only getting ever so slightly higher, the highs are still getting higher. That's all that matters at the end of the day. I can see overall where we're kind of in this wedge, but I'm not trying to draw it out right now, but you can see where we're kind of in this wedge. We have a top of around like 57.75, and our lows are getting higher, as I just mentioned. So we're kind of building this wedge right now, which I do think over the next few days, we're going to figure out if we're going to keep moving to the upside or downside. I believe upside, but we'll see what happens. Oh, on Friday you missed out on like 6%. Ooh. Well, I mean, as long as this profits at the end of the day, that's what I preach the most. I was talking about in our Discord group chat earlier that I was up. I only had like 35 shares of UWT to start, and I could have sold them early on in the market. We were live stock market trading. I was up like 4% on that position. It was like a $10, $12 profit. Like I said, a very small position, 35 shares. But I held it. I could have sold them. It wasn't going to be a day trade against me or anything like that. I bought it the night before and after I was trading, if I remember right. And I could have sold those and then just rebought on the sell-off. But I held, and then, so obviously those shares, all in all honesty, are what's making my buy cost so bad and making my losses even deeper, because 35 shares at an average buy cost of, I believe it was like $15.75 or something like that. That's what's really killing me right now, because I mean, my average buy cost on all the other shares are somewhere around, I mean, let's go take a look at what I bought them for. $14.80, $15.24. So you can see I pretty much bought all the way down, just kept averaging down on that position. So, I mean, if I just sold those shares, took the profit and ran, then one, my average buy cost would look a lot lower. My losses wouldn't be nearly quite as bad as they are right now. We're down about 3.5% on that position. Still not bad considering how bad the sell-off was, how much UWT was down overall. UWT was down, what, roughly 8%, something like that, 7% overall. And we're only down about 3.5. So, I mean, still not too bad considering how bloody of a day it was. But it'll be kind of interesting to see. Like I said, for the last week, we still didn't do too bad, up 5%. And then for the last month, still up about 8%. The trade that saved us on Friday was that SPY position. It was a 2-minute quick little in and out position, if we can figure it out. So yeah, this was literally a 2-minute trade. I kept talking about this on Friday. We literally hopped in. It was my first option trade in months, a few months at the minimum. And hopped in 3 contracts at $84 a piece. Literally 2 minutes later, we sold them for 90 cents, $90 a piece. Made it quick. It was like 7.2 or 7.1, something like that, % profit. I forget the exact return. Let's see, it was a $6 return. So around an $18 return overall on that position. So that really helped us out a lot too for like the overall day. But yeah, that was a nice little play we did. But overall for oil, I don't want to keep talking about nothing but oil, but obviously since I'm in it pretty heavy, it's definitely on my mind. But like I said, I think tomorrow oil's going to test probably 56.50. Once it breaks through 56, if it keeps getting rejected at 56, that could cause some trouble. But once it gets through 56, I think it's pretty much heading on up to fill the gap to at least 56.50, maybe even 57 if we can get a huge move to the upside. Maybe some potential news, who knows. But hopefully our stream is still doing all right. Like I said, if we have any issues, always feel free to just holler at me and let me know. But natural gas, I wanted to talk a little bit about natural gas as well. Natural gas got stalled out again, just above, I believe it was 286. We were watching that level. It hopped up over 287. And what I do like, though, for natural gas, looking at that 20-day chart, again, highs keep getting higher for natural gas as well. It has these little pullbacks, but every time the high just keeps getting higher. So that's going to be interesting to see kind of if it can just really keep this upward move. I think overall it gets stalled out around 3, but I mean, it still gets a lot of move to the upside either way. I think, like I said, overall it's probably going to get stalled out at 3, get rejected, and head back down to the 180-day low at some point over the next month or so. But I think over the next couple weeks, this thing's going to keep marching up to $3 personally, which if you're into trading like the UGAS and DGAS, I think right now UGAS would be a good little actually, I thought UGAS, maybe it was DGAS. Yeah, DGAS right now might be a short-term good buying opportunity because I do think overall you're going to see some sort of a little pullback with natural gas simply because when we look at our one-day chart, you can see it had a pretty good run on Monday. That push up to 287. I think overall it's probably going to pull back somewhere around 283 and a half. So I mean, you're talking a quick in and out day trade. Some people are thinking it's going to pull back here and test 281 to 280. I don't know, that's a little bit bearish in my opinion. I mean, that's a 4.5 cent move to the downside. Again, that's going to be one to watch once the futures market opens up here in about hour and a half. So keep natural gas on your radar. One thing to keep in mind is that SMA line. I don't remember what it looked like on our hourly chart. Hourly chart shows that it's not really overextended, but it could definitely pull back. I can actually see, looking at the 1 hour chart, why some people are calling for it to retest 281. So it might retest 281 now that I'm actually looking at this 1 hour chart. But that'll be kind of interesting to watch overnight. I'm thinking overall it's only going to pull back to like 283, but I can see why some people are calling for like 281. So that'd be a good short term, like I said, a short day trade possibly for DGAS tomorrow. I think there's a few of you in here that might be holding DGAS from like the $88 to $89 range. So I mean, you might get a good little pop tomorrow on DGAS, upwards of 92 bucks maybe. So then that would mean what? Look out for you guys for a potential good dip buy opportunity tomorrow. I would look to get this thing around $35 personally, maybe even a little less. But I'm not currently playing either of them. Natural gas, though it can produce some very, very, very good day-by-day returns, super, super, super volatile. If you think oil's volatile, hop over to the natural gas market. That's volatility right there. But it's a very good chance to make good money over there. And I just set alerts because I like to be able to talk about natural gas with you guys, not because I'm looking to like take a position or anything. Let's see here. Probably pick up some UWT. Hopefully you get it at a good price. Hopefully it doesn't like shoot up too much on you. Well, for my case, hopefully it does shoot up overnight, but hopefully you can get it at a good price point. And then as for a couple stocks, well, first before we get into the stocks, we want to take a look at SPY. SPY back above 280. It's going to be interesting to see if it can hold. Overall SPX, if I remember right, it also hopped above the critical 2800. Almost 2804. So that's going to be, watch the SPX. If you have the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, check out SPX overnight tonight. See if that can hold. If you trade SPY, you need to be checking SPX on a regular basis, obviously. It's going to be interesting to see if we can hold above that 2800 level, which obviously for SPY means pretty much 280. If we can hold above this 280 level, very bullish sign for SPY overall. But I mean, there's tons of good chances. We were playing pretty much the dip. That's how we made our money on Friday. We played the dip. I don't remember which point. I think it was this point. It was one of these little points here. You wait for a quick little panic, buy the call, sell the call, make a quick 10% profit, 5 to 10, sometimes 20 if you hold it long enough, 5 to 20% profit in just a few minutes, move on, and then you're done with your day essentially. But that's more for the people that have like $25,000 in their account. It's hard to do that whenever you can't day trade unlimited, because I mean, you could use 3 day trades in one day and then no trading for the rest of the week. I don't ever suggest trading with no day trades available, just because if you get in a oh shit situation where you have to burn a day trade and you've already burned all 3, then like you can really put yourself in a bad situation. Been there, done that, been there, and it ended up working for me one time. I was actually down like $100 on some option positions in XOP. Next day ended up, or no, I was up like $400 already, and then the next day I could sell it. Ended up being up like $700. It was like my best option trade ever. Those of you that have been in here for a while probably remember that trade. It was a big sell-off within oil, and I was trading XOP options at that time. It was last summer, but anyways, I just wouldn't suggest doing any trading whenever you don't have any day trades available, because you just never know at the end of the day. I mean, say you set some stop losses, then something you didn't see happening happens. Say you bought up here on SPY and you set a stop loss, in theory, set a stop loss at 279.50, bam, got triggered, and then you end up getting locked out of your account or whatever for like 90 days, depending on who you're using for your platform. And it's just, it can be a huge mess. Just don't trade. Just, I know it can suck because there's a lot of opportunity day by day. Just don't trade if you don't have any day trades available. Like me right now, I have 1 day trade available until Wednesday, and then I get 1 more or 2 more maybe on Wednesday. I forget. I'll have to go back in there and look, but just keep track of your day trades. Robinhood makes it real easy. I know we have a lot of you guys that are on Robinhood. For those of you that don't know, I believe you just go into your account, and then you can scroll down, and there you go. You can see your trades, your day trades right there. I had a DWT trade that was on Wednesday, and then I had the SPY one that was on Friday. So I have 1 more available. I always try to keep at least 1 available, unless if it's obviously, say tomorrow I see a good opportunity for a day trade, then I just won't trade on Tuesday because I know Wednesday I'll be able to trade again. Something like that. Just don't force yourself to go 2, 3, 4 trading sessions without a trade, because you'll go crazy. But I think on the phone version, it'll actually show you the dates. I don't know how you can see the actual dates on the web platform, but I know, how's it going there, Shirley? Welcome, welcome. I know on the phone, it'll show you like the date of each trade. Super easy to find. I don't know so much about on here on the web platform. But yeah, overall for SPY, just be watching for that critical 280. If they can hold above 280, very, very, very bullish signal for SPY. If it goes below it, we could be talking about a quick little slide. I'm not talking about a correction, but could see a quick little 5% pullback. We're due overall. I mean, when we look at our 180-day chart, ever since we hit our 232 low, I mean, it's just had a huge run. The markets have had an amazing run to start the year. I think they said Dow Jones is up like 18 or something percent like that over the last 2 or 3 months. Same thing with S&P 500. I think it's up like 15 something percent. And I think Nasdaq's doing even better. So, I mean, markets are due overall for a slight little like 5% pullback, but I wouldn't say correction or anything. Like I said, I think low 270s for the pullback whenever that decides to happen. But check our stream real quick, make sure we're still doing all right. Still got 4 of you tuning in. And also, if you're new to the channel, like I said before, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below, and check out our totally free Discord group chat app. It's down in the description box. There's about 60 or so of us in there, and it's just awesome to network with a bunch of like-minded people. SQ is one that I'm going to be watching personally. I was surprised to see this one pull back after hitting around $83. I believe it's pre-market. Yeah, hit $83 pre-market, and then it kind of just slid throughout the rest of the day. Didn't really recover. I love it around this price point. This is about where I sold actually. Whenever I bought in at around 74.35, something like that. Sold it around 77.50. I like it again right around here. Looking at our 1 hour chart, I like it from the MACD standpoint. I think the selling is getting ready to wear off, and we're going to take another leg higher. RSI looks very good. I mean, very good. Look, it looks amazing overall. I mean, if you bought in, say you can get in this, it's probably going to open somewhere around like $77.50 or $78, something like that. So, I mean, say you get in there and you ride it up to first area of resistance around 80, quick little 2.5% profit. Ride it up to what's going to be a pretty critical resistance around 82.50, 6% profit. And then you bet on it like I'm betting on it, taking a new leg higher to 84. You're talking an 8% return at that point. So this is a potentially good day trade, swing trade, depending on just how it moves overall. Like I said, it's pretty volatile right now after the earnings. Earnings met expectations. The guidance sounded amazing. It's an amazing company, has a lot going for it. Just looking at the 180-day chart, you can tell too it has a lot of room to the upside. I mean, once it breaks through that little 80, I mean, I call it little because it's such a little resistance. All it needs is a good little push, and it's going to break through the 82.50 easily. First area resistance after that's going to be north of $85. And then after that, you're talking probably somewhere around $92. So, I mean, this thing, like I said, I think over the next couple months, this is going to test $100 again easily. Probably make a new all-time high. So, I mean, just depends how long you want to hold at the end of the day. And if you're bullish overall on the company like I am. Overall, I'm very bullish on this company. Another one I'm interested in is Tesla. Tesla is right around a buy territory in my opinion. I want to see it drop a little bit more. I'd like to see it touch 289, 290. So, I mean, we're talking, what, a couple percent, not even a couple percentage points, like 1 to 2 percentage points probably to the downside. Overall, Tesla, ever since hitting that 387 high, is continuing to make lower highs and slowly but surely like a lower low, especially from, let's just say, this 375 area. Just focus on right here. It's making lower lows, lower highs. Overall, like I said, a good support though around that 285 to 289 area. So if it could come down to about 290, I would say that's a good price point to buy in. But even if you can handle a little bit of pain, even right here, it's a pretty decent buy. If you get it around 294, which it looks like it's about there right now. Overall, this is usually a pretty quick swing trade. You can usually get in and out of Tesla within a couple days. It's a pretty volatile stock, but say you get in there around, if my ticker wants to cooperate, let's just say you got in at 94.60, 294.60. You're probably going to get this for around 315 easily. You're talking a quick 7.5% profit, and that's just based on, I'm just going based on the price that I see on it on an almost daily basis. I constantly see Tesla from 290s, sometimes 280s, but usually 290s to 320s, sometimes 330s. I mean, a lot of us that keep up with like the business TV and whatnot, if you're just watching what scrolls across your board, Tesla is constantly around the 320s and on the low end, 290s, 280s. So, I mean, right now, like I said, in my opinion, it's a decent buying opportunity. And at the minimum, if you just hold it till about 315, 316, 7.5% profit, if you hold it into those 320s, you're talking upwards of a 10% return. So, I mean, I think overall it's probably going to retest the 320s over the next week or so. That's just me. Tesla is all about news. Anytime there's news that comes out with Tesla, you can almost just see it on the chart. Anytime there's news, bam, it drops. Anytime there's good news, bam, it just jumps up like 10 or 20%. It's a super volatile stock. And they had the news obviously about the new the new Model 3 I believe they're coming out with, and that they're going away from the dealership model and you can only buy online. So, I mean, people are seeing that as negative news, so that was a catalyst for it to drop. Among other things like their debt payments and all that stuff, caused it to drop, about 7 to 10% overall over the last day or two. And sure enough, once the news wears off, you know this thing's going to bounce back up to the 320s easily within a few days. So, I mean, it's just same thing over and over with Tesla. You buy the low, you sell the high. I mean, it's pretty simple for Tesla. What was the other one that I was wanting to take a look at? There was another one. What was it? Can't remember now. Kraft Heinz. Kraft Heinz is one that has been getting hammered, obviously. But whenever we look, what I liked about it, I think it was the 5 or 10 day. I don't remember which one. Might have been the 5-day chart. 5-day chart shows we're starting to build a little bit of support right around $32. It's at $32.40, but you can see overall starting to build some support. It tried to, at least. What day was this? I believe Wednesday, Thursday. It built a little bit of support right around 32. Right now it's at 32.53, and you can see overall it started to build a new, like a quote-unquote new support on Friday afternoon around like the 32.30 mark, maybe slightly higher. Let's take a look. Right around 32.35, started building a little bit of support, and it looks like it's trying to possibly try to fill that gap. So I mean, if you hop in right now, which obviously you can't right this second, but if you hopped in at the current price point and it fills the gap, you're talking a quick 2.5% return just on it going up to 33.50, nothing major. I'm still in the boat that I think overall this thing's going to end up filling the gap to at least $37, $38, and then long term I look for it to retest 42. I believe it was the 180-day chart. Yeah, I look forward to overall retest $42. That's long term. I mean, you're talking probably a few weeks, few months. That's more for people that are looking to invest in something. If you have a retirement account, something you can't really trade in too much because of restrictions, maybe. Kraft Heinz might be a good potential buying opportunity. But for overall day traders, it doesn't offer like a huge return, but I mean, you're still talking a couple percent of profit at the minimum. So I mean, if you can make 2 to 3% profit off of Kraft Heinz, why not take advantage of that opportunity? But I'm not really looking at playing it. I just wanted to call it out because I knew there's a lot of people that have been trading it and asking about it lately. And you got the dividend coming up, so I don't know what the cutoff is for the dividend, but if it's, I know for a lot of stocks it's usually like 1 or 2 days, sometimes 3 days out. So you might see potentially a little bit of buying going on tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, depending on again when their cutoff is. So I mean, you might get a good little bounce within Kraft Heinz over the next trading session or two. But other than that, those are the only ones, if I recall, that I'm kind of watching. Another one is United Health. I mentioned this one Thursday after hours. I saw United Health was down to around like 240 or 242, something like that. Had a decent little bounce back on Friday, up about 1.5%. It popped up to 248 early market hours. At that point, it was up roughly 2%, I believe. But what I liked was the 180-day chart. Last time we approached these lows, we moved up to upwards of 270. Only thing that's really causing this, from what I've read up on and in my opinion, is because you have all those goofy Democrats out there talking about Medicare for all, which we all know, even the liberals know it's not ever going to happen. United States would have to become a socialist country, which again is not ever going to happen. So I mean, it's all just sell the news. So I mean, good buying opportunity if you haven't looked at United Health. It is a little bit expensive of a stock, $246 a share, but so is Tesla at $300. And you're talking about a dividend coming up here in the next week, so 90 cents per share. That's not too bad. But I kind of like United Healthcare overall. I would say target sell on this at the minimum would be 258. If you got in somewhere around 246, which I think you definitely can, if you sell it around 257, 258, you're talking roughly a 10% return on your money. So, and that's a pretty short-term trade. I'm talking probably within a couple weeks, like a week or two trade probably, that this will bounce back 10%. And if you hold it longer term, if you're one of those people that need to hold something longer term, I think target sell realistically is 270. Maybe even 280. I would say probably 277. So you're talking about 13-14% return at that point. So I mean, overall, a good return there possibly. Maybe even for those of you that play the options, might want to do like a short put spread, kind of a bullish option play there potentially. So yeah, I'm watching it pretty closely too. I don't like playing options too much, but I mean, I might play a vertical spread on United Healthcare. I want to see, I don't want to do it on an up day, obviously. I want to see kind of whenever it pulls back a little bit again, how low it pulls. But, yeah, I might do a vertical spread on this thing at some point, possibly. I almost forgot about that one. But if I remember right, I don't even think I have this added to my watch list. It's there now. But other than that, Weight Watchers was one I was going to call out, but now it's just to the point where I don't really like it. It's not really, I mean, it could feel, don't get me wrong, it could fill the gap, but when has it in the last 180 days? So, I mean, you can see here, it's trying to fill the gap up to about $28, $29, but I don't feel confident in it because every time this thing's sold off, it tries to fill the gap and it fails every single time. You can see right here. Sell off, tried to fill, got rejected, and kept moving down. Same thing here. Got rejected, or not got rejected. Sell off, tried to fill, got rejected again, kept making newer lows. And, I mean, it just happens time and time again. So, I mean, Weight Watchers just isn't attractive to me. But, I mean, you could get a potential good day trade out of it. I mean, if you would have hopped in this, that's why I didn't want to call it out, because Friday already had a huge move to the upside. So, if anything, I might want to take a short position on this. You might want to do a short call spread or something like that if you're into options. Or just flat ass sit it out, because I think overall it's probably going to get rejected around $22, $23, maybe $24. But I think over the long term it's going to just keep making lower lows. I mean, this company, I don't know. My uncle loves this company, but like I told him, they're not doing anything that's innovative. If you don't innovate in this economy, you're going to die. It's just how it is. Why do you think Amazon is the king right now? They just keep on doing more stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys heard, but they're talking about opening tons of grocery stores nationwide. That's going to undercut the price of, what's the one that they own? Not Natural Grocery. What's the name of it? I can't even think of the name right now. I just went there a little while ago. But you all know what I'm talking about. But they're talking about undercutting their own company that they bought out. So, I mean, it's just, they're always doing new stuff. And that's why they're what, like $1,600, $1,700 a share, where Weight Watchers is $21, $22. Let's see, you said Neo and Costco. No, I haven't looked at neither. What is Neo? Let's take a look. So this thing, earnings is when? The 5th, so Tuesday. 180-day chart is iffy. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not like descending. It's kind of sideways overall. Overall support would probably end up being 850 when this thing, if or when this decides to pull back. Right now around $10. It's a little overbought in my opinion. I don't know any news or anything. I don't know a lot about this company. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know a lot about this company. I have to do a little bit more research, but just based on the chart I'm looking at, it's slightly overbought in my opinion. I would want to see it pull back to under $9 personally before buying in. Unless if you know something about the earnings that I don't. Like I said, I don't know really anything about this company, but let me take a look at the 3-year chart too. Oh, so this is a pretty new company, or at least from the stock market wise, about a year old company. It's pretty close to its all-time high since it became public. Yeah, like I said, unless if there's something you know about it, so they make electric cars cheaper than Tesla, huge in China. So, I mean, it might be a good thing to hop into. It's just, I would kind of wait out the earnings. I don't ever like purchasing something before earnings. I always like waiting it out. Even if it pops up and I miss out on an opportunity, so be it, whatever. But I just never, from my past experiences, buying into earnings never ends up well, especially on a chart like this. I would just wait it out, at least wait out that earnings report at the minimum, listen to the conference call, and if all sounds good, then if it moves like a lot of stocks in the US, if everything sounds good and it had good earnings, it's probably going to drop anyways. That's just how it goes in the US, it seems. But I don't know, something tells me that this, I mean, there's a lot of resistance around 10 to 10 to 10. Like $10 to $10.10 So just be careful with that. Everything you're saying sounds good. Like I said, there's just something about buying into earnings I never like doing. So just buyer beware. That's what I'll say. But overall, I mean, from what you're telling me, it sounds pretty good. I'm going to set up a few alerts on this, actually. Just so if it touches these limits, I'll at least be alerted. I want to be alerted when it goes above 915. And then I want to be alerted when it goes above 10, if it goes above 1050. Because if it goes above 1050, I bet that's due to the earnings. So I'm going to set a couple of alerts there. I'm actually going to revisit this because this might be a potential good play there, especially by what you're telling me. But like I said, just from my previous experience and other people's horror stories that I've heard, just wait on that earnings is what I'll say. But buyer beware. Let's see what Shirley said. Oh, you said Costco too. So we'll do Costco and then we'll do PSTG. So Costco, isn't it CSCO or something like that? No, it's Cisco. What is Costco? So I thought I have Costco over here. What is Costco? I forgot Costco's ticker symbol. I got Cisco Systems, but man, Cisco is heavily overbought too. Stay away from that. Man, what the hell is Costco? I thought I had Costco over here. I got so many in here. I need to go through this watch list. If you know Costco's, throw it out because I forgot what the hell its ticker symbol was. Is it CS? Let's see if it pops up. Cisco, Costco. Oh. I don't remember what it is. So somebody throw out Costco's ticker symbol, and in the meantime, we'll head on to PSTG real quick. But PSTG, let's see what you said, Shirley. So entry at 21.25 with a stop loss of $1. Price target of 25. Okay, so price target 25. Okay, I can see that. I can see 24 to 25. With a 3.75 to 1 win ratio. Okay. So there's going to be quite a bit of resistance along the way. You're probably going to hit some pretty strong resistance around 22, roughly around $21.50 to $22. And then after that, yeah, I think 25 is definitely possible. I like the 180-day chart. It's not like overbought really. It's not like in any. Let's see what the earnings was. 0.2, 0.4. So they missed the earnings, but it looks like guidance might have been good because it didn't get hammered on the earnings. So, yeah, that might be a potential good buy. And with your stop loss, you said a stop loss of $1. So if you got it at 21.25, you're talking 20.25. Pretty tight stop loss there, but I can understand why. I mean, you're talking about a 2% move to the downside, so a 2% stop loss or so. That isn't bad by any means. That's overall a good play. Pure Storage Inc. Yeah, so that would be a good play, I believe. Cost. Okay, I didn't even think about that. Maybe I'll finally add it to my watch list since apparently it wasn't there. Let's see, so Costco is around 220. It's right around a pretty critical level of resistance. You can see right around this 220 mark was a pretty heavy support. Got tested multiple times through the last year. It was even a new support whenever this thing was pretty bullish on its way up to 245. You can see that it bottomed twice right here before taking that leg up to the $245. So it is going to hit a pretty critical level of resistance here. So just be careful with that around 220. I'm actually going to set an alert on this one as well. I want to be notified when it crosses 221. Because I think once it gets above 221, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. But what I want to see with this is not only can it break through that resistance, can it break through it, pull back at or above 220, and then can it continue to move higher? Pretty much confirmation. But yeah, first I want to see it break through 221, and then we'll kind of see what happens. I mean, you're talking a $1.50 difference. You're not talking about a huge difference waiting there. Again, I'm not talking about getting in at 221. I want to see it go to 221, pull back at some point to around 220 to 221, at or above, and then continue higher. So I'd be talking a few days. Probably wouldn't even trade this thing until later this week, but we'll see what happens. It looks like the earnings is coming up. Conference calls on the 7th. Earnings is the 7th, so a few days out. So another one to be careful. I think, oh, actually, you know what? You might want, this is one, like the good companies like Costco, Amazon, and stuff like that, where you know you don't know, obviously, but you have a good, like 90% feeling that they're going to beat their earnings and have good guidance. Depending on where this one's at on the 6th, which would be what? Wednesday, I believe. Somewhere around Wednesday. Depending on where this is at, come like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you might want to consider hopping in, because I think, in my opinion, the earnings is going to probably be a catalyst for this thing to go up. But we'll see how was our last one. Good earnings. It looks like they got hammered on their earnings. When was their earnings anyways? Their earnings was right around the overall market sell-off. So take the last earnings report and the reaction with a grain of salt. This earnings report didn't beat, but I don't know how the guidance was. So I don't know. I actually kind of feel good about their earnings, but we don't have really a whole lot to go based off of on the 180 day. So just, again, kind of buyer beware with that, but good potential move to the upside. I mean, if you hold out and you end up getting in, say you got in at let's say just say somewhere around 222, 221.78, and you ride this up to around, probably gonna, I'd say target sell 235, 6% profit, nothing major, but good little 6% return possibility. And if you're betting on a new all-time high, you're talking about another 10% move to the upside. But that would probably be a longer term trade, swing trade at the minimum, or a potential good options setup maybe if you trade options. You just said I'm going to do options on it. So yeah, good option play potential. Depending on how you want to play it with options, you might want to do the earnings gamble on options. I wouldn't. If you're doing options, I'd definitely wait until after the earnings report. But I know there's a lot of people make a killing doing options based on earnings reports, like doing it ahead of time. So we'll see what happens with that one. BMY. Let's see. Entry at 53.50, stop loss around 52.25, price target at 57 with about a 3-to-1 run ratio. So this one's also kind of around an area of resistance. Around 54 is probably going to be a pretty strong resistance. Pretty close to that already. You said target sell of 57. I can see that because that's going to be probably your next area of resistance. You can see it was a pretty critical support on this little sell-off it had before trying to push up higher, getting rejected and going even lower. So I can see the 57 target sell. And I like your stop. If anything, you might want to tighten up this stop loss just because, I don't know if you want to tighten it up. Actually, you might want to loosen it up. Let's see, you said a stop loss of $1.25, so 52.25. You got a pretty tight loss on this one. I would consider maybe dropping your loss to 51. I know that's a little bit steeper of a stop loss. That's a $3.50 on a $53 stock. That's a pretty steep loss, like a 6%. I don't know, you might not want to do that. That's a little bit too steep. Maybe 51.50 to 51.70. Because it looks like it can be a pretty volatile stock. I would just do something a little bit looser than that $1.25, maybe a $2 stop loss. That'd put you at 51.50. So I mean, I would look at about a 51.50 stop loss in my opinion. Just because this thing probably is going to get rejected once right around this level. It's probably going to pull back to somewhere around $51 to $52. So just don't be caught off guard if it triggers your stop loss where it's at. That's why I said 51.50 be a little bit better in my opinion. Because, I mean, there's some resistance there. But if or when it breaks through that resistance, I do think it's going up to 57. It's been trading kind of sideways, though, since around the 25th of October. So last, 5 months, essentially? 4 to 5 months. It's been trading kind of sideways. So overall, it looks pretty bullish. It's finally back above that SMA line. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens there. But definitely let us know how that trade works out over the next week or two. Oh, it's Bristol Myers. Yeah. Yeah, Bristol Myers overall is a decent company too. So not a lot really to worry about with that company. But hopefully we're doing all right on our stream still. We got, it said 6 to 8 of you tuning in right now. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, we love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We have a Discord group chat, super easy to join if you don't know what Discord is. It's an app you get for any smartphone, and free to join. I don't charge for like any of my group or anything like that. That's down in the description box. Easiest way to get a hold of me by far. And social media is also down there as well. Jitten John, howdy. How's it going? How's it going? I think you're new. How's it going? Do you got any stocks or anything you want me to take a look at while you're here real quick? I'll probably start wrapping the stream up too here in a little, because I know my fiance is going to be home probably in the next 30 minutes, and we're going to go to dinner with her family, or go over to her family's for dinner tonight. So I'll probably stay on for a few more minutes if anyone has any stocks or anything. But overall, pretty much what I'm watching, the stocks I'm watching is UWT, DWT. They're two oil ETNs, not ETFs, ETNs, different tax laws there, so be careful when trading those, by the way. And Square. Those are the three that I'm kind of watching. How's it going there, Alex? Alex Start. KEM. I've heard of this one before. I think I traded it once a while back. Kemet. Yeah, I've traded this before a long while back, about a year ago actually. Overall, 180 day. I like that it's above its SMA right now. RSI is decent. MACD as well. Been trading kind of sideways since the December scare. Let's see. Just had the dividend. Earnings. Good beat. I don't know if the guidance was bad or what caused it to drop like that. Overall, though, I think as long as the guidance wasn't horrible, you might want to go back to that conference call and listen to it, because it wasn't that long ago. It was on the 31st of January, so about a month or two ago. At this price point, though, I'd wait for it to pull back. You're going to see a little bit of resistance at 20. I want to see it pull back about a percentage point, get in at maybe around $19. Target sell on, for me, would be $22. Watch it fill that gap. I want to see it hit $22. Good little 15% return possibility there. So, if or when you decide to buy this, set a good stop loss, though, because I do remember this can be a pretty volatile stock. Let me look at the 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart, yeah, I want to see it pull back a little bit. Anytime, I like using my 10-hour MACD, like on my 10-hour chart. I like to look at my MACD. Pretty much gives me a good signal if something's getting ready to go into selling or buying. It looks like it's at least going to pull back a little bit here before long. RSI, I mean, it could run a little bit upwards of $20. Like I said, there's going to be some resistance around that $20, but you're only talking about maybe another 2% move to the upside, just based on this 1 hour chart again. But I love using that 1 hour chart. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to see this pull back a little bit before entering the. If you can get in this thing around $19, I think that's a pretty good entry point. Target sell at least 20 at the minimum, 20 to 22 bucks. Let's see. We'll look at ZS real quick. I'll get ZS pulled up while I'm seeing what Jitten John said. Any scanners? I don't really use scanners. Been looking for some. Yeah, I don't really use scanners personally. I just kind of just set my own alerts. Like you can see, I trade oil a lot. If I can get my C to type. I just use my own alerts based on what I see as roughly supports and resistances. And I mean, I guess that's kind of the closest I really get to a scanner. I don't really trade a lot of different stocks and whatnot. I find it's much easier to trade if you just narrow down to a couple of stocks or ETFs or ETNs that move hefty, like UWT and stuff. I mean, 7% move. I like trading these volatile stocks and ETFs and ETNs like UWT, DWT, GUSH, DREP, SPY, those types. I just find if you get a handful of like 5 to 10 different stocks or ETNs, ETFs that you can trade, and you know kind of how they move on a regular basis, that it's just much easier, and then you can kind of just set your own alerts from there. But no, I don't really use any scanners. You mainly use intraday and pre-market scanners. Yeah, so I mean, I don't really use them. I know that you can have scanners. I used to use this scanner on TD Ameritrade. It just never really worked out too much for me. There's a lot of homework that goes into that. I do know there was a website that I know. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second, Alex. I know there's a website. Man, I can't believe it's been so long since I've used it. It shows just a red and green map, like a heat map essentially, of all the different stocks that are moving. Pretty hefty. I can't believe I forgot the name of it. It was on my old laptop, so it's not saved on my favorites on this new one. But if I can find that tonight, yeah, Finviz. Yep, that's it right there. That's what I use. Oh, ZS. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Finviz was the one. But yeah, other than that, I don't really use anything. Just try to find a couple stocks and ETFs, ETNs that you really gel with, paper trade with them for a while. I don't know how long you've been trading and whatnot. If you're new, obviously start out with paper trading for a few days, few weeks. And if you've been trading for a while, then by all means just study a couple of them that you really like. That's the other thing. I like trading stuff that I actually like. Like, I have a passion for oil. That's why you see me talking about oil so much on this channel, why I trade it so much. Stuff that affects my day-to-day life, I like investing in, trading, all that good stuff. Let's see. So on my 1 hour chart, I can tell I hate this right now. 108, it's just overbought. Let it pull back. I mean, it was up 22%. Amazing earnings, so I can see why. I'm assuming the guidance was even better, but good lord, 22%. I'm staying away. If anything, I might short this at this price, just because anything that's up 22% is going to take a big move to the downside. Maybe not huge, but at least a good 5% pullback at some point. So at this price level, you can't even tell me it's a good price right now. But from how the earnings looks, and depending on how the guidance was, it looks like amazing news. Amazing catalyst for sure. And you can even tell by that 1 hour chart. MACD, like I said, that 1 hour MACD tells it all every single time, especially that RSI too. RSI is 77. Hell no. This thing's getting ready to pull back. Probably tomorrow. So just stay away from it for at least probably tomorrow, unless if again you're into shorting. Let's see, UGAS and D. But yeah, I trade UGAS and DGAS from time to time. They obviously follow /NG. You can see I have an alert set here. I was talking about that earlier in the stream. I only have this set more so because I like looking at natural gas more for you guys. I know there's a lot of guys that trade UGAS and DGAS. So I try to at least have a little bit of knowledge on it. But I don't trade them a god-awful lot. It's just such a volatile market. I call the natural gas market the day trader's dream. Like, once I'm able to day trade full time, and can sit here for minutes at a time, not have to be trading on my phone, and oh man, I gotta go to work now all of a sudden, like, because my work, I'm constantly moving. I get about 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there every 20 to 30 minutes to look at my phone, but a lot can happen in 20 to 30 minutes. So it's like, natural gas is just too volatile. There's amazing opportunity there within, like, I mean, just look at DGAS. DGAS was down 4%. Look how much it's down over the last 5-10 days. And then look at UGAS. I mean, there's tons of opportunity there, but you better be right on the direction you're betting on it going if you're swing trading, because if you're wrong, you're going to lose a lot of money very quickly. I know a lot of guys that were hopping in DGAS $100, $110 right around this price point here when we saw this double bottom on the 1 hour chart. Hopped in it, held it too long, got in it around $105 to $110, got caught bag holding, still holding it. So I mean, you gotta be careful in swing trading natural gas. Like I said, it's day traders heaven. I mean, these things move usually 3 to 5% either way, upside downside, daily basis. I mean, let's just pull up the 1 minute chart. I mean, even DGAS, I believe, on the 1 minute chart, it had a good little move, good little run, about a $4 run to the upside when we had this double bottom early on in the morning. I almost bought in at $88. It didn't because I got sidetracked and getting ready to do my Friday stream and missed out on a quick 4% profit. So like I said, I mean, day traders' heaven is natural gas. So is oil to a certain degree. But natural gas by far is the day trader's heaven. Natural gas along with SPY. SPY, I love trading that too. I don't know if you just tuned in, Alex, but we talked about my trade on SPY on Friday. I was off Friday, so I got to just do a live stock market trading session, and we were literally in and out of this trade right here in 2 minutes. We bought these contracts, SPY contracts, 84 cents a piece, $84 a piece, sold them in 2 minutes for $90, a quick 7% return. So I mean, SPY and natural gas, obviously natural gas, like UGAS and DGAS, you can't trade options on. That's the only downside to those two. But definitely a day trader's heaven, man. But yeah, on that note, I'll probably go ahead and start wrapping the stream up. Hopefully we've been doing good on our stream health and whatnot. So we got 7 of you tuning in. We've already been on here for over an hour. That's crazy. So about to go eat some dinner with my girl and her family, so I better get to hopping off here. But like I said, if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and hitting that bell icon for the notifications. We go live usually about every single day, unless if work or life kind of complicates that. But for the most part, we go live every single day just for a kind of a market recap, what I've been trading and whatnot, and any questions or ticker symbols you guys are wondering about. And then, of course, every Sunday we have this Sunday Stock Watch, usually around 3 to 5 o'clock Central Standard Time in the afternoon, which in Eastern Time, that's like 4 to 6 p.m. And then wherever you are, just do the math on it from there. But we'd love to have you guys here. And if you haven't already, we have that Discord group chat. That's also down in the description box. A little over 60 of us in there now. We had a good little conversation going on this morning for anyone that's like super young and looking to get into trading and investing. Because like I always say, guys, it's all about starting the youngest you can with the most money you can. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Hopefully you guys are going to have a green week this week. Hopefully you guys are going to have a great week. It's going to be a cold week here in Dallas, but it'll warm up later. But yeah, hopefully you guys will subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom in 2019 and beyond. And I'll see you guys hopefully again tomorrow for another live stream. Take it easy, guys.